We are doing another worksheet. This one we're going to do a little bit more conversion practice, going from what we use into more of the metric system, or going from the metric system to what we use. So for those of you who asked, does this really matter? Why do I need to learn this? Well, now you're learning how to use our measurements and change them into the measurements that are shown to be used in science class. So if by some miraculous chance you're given a gallon of milk and I tell you to get 6 or 7 liters from that gallon of milk, now you'll know how to do it. Alright, so I've given you the basic conversions on here that you will need. So let us go into a couple examples. So go ahead and flip on the back and we will do a few examples of dimensional analysis. You will need your metric ladder just in case we change it up. And 1 second and we will get started on this. Alright, so here we have a problem if we're trying to get feet into centimeters. So we have to set this up. So this is actually going to be a little bit of a 3-step problem. So you're going to have to get our feet into inches because you're given the conversion for inches to centimeters, but you're not given the how many centimeters are in a foot. So what you'll do is you will do 3 feet times 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot. Sorry. And we get that answer so we can have the total number of inches to convert it into centimeters. So now we see 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So we will set that up. So it'll be 36 times 36 inches times 2.54 centimeters equals, and then you can do the calculation on your own, or you can follow along as I do it, 2.54, so multiply it 4 times blah blah blah. Alright, so we do this. Now we have, if we equal it out, it's going to equal 91.44 centimeters. So in 3 feet we have 91.44 centimeters. So 3 feet equals 91.44. Now let's set up a second problem. This is a problem that can build upon the first one. So if we have 3 feet equals how many millimeters, we can do this quite simply. So we have our answer, so 91.44 centimeters. All we have to do is, if we use our step ladder, we see centi to many is 1 step to the right. So if we go 1 step to the right, all we have to do is move this decimal 1 step to the right. So that will make this answer 914.4 millimeters in 3 feet. That's simple. Alright, so let us build upon that. So I know that we're going to do a couple of time questions on our test tomorrow. So I want to do one setup for time. So let's do it real quick. So 1 day equals how many seconds? So in order to set this up, we got to figure out how many we can either go from seconds to days, or we can go from days to seconds. It doesn't really matter. We can start from seconds because we know that there are 60 seconds in 1 minute. We know that there is 1 minute, or sorry, not 1 minute, but 60 minutes equals 1 hour, and 24 hours, give or take, in 1 day. So we have to multiply each one of these by each other. So basically, well, we know that we have to multiply each one of these. So 60 by 60, and then that total, which will be 3,600 by 24. So let us do that on the calculator real quick and get right back to you. So based on our calculations, we have 86,400 seconds in 1 day. So that's our answer. 1 day equals 86,400 seconds. And seconds can be abbreviated either as SEC or it can just be S. Because we all know our base is S. So S is fine. Now, if we were to do this in milliseconds, what would we do? Let's say we want to see how many milliseconds are in a day. So that's MS. All we have to do with this number is go 2 to the right. Actually, no, my bad. Sorry, 3 to the right. Look at that, Mr. Yost not looking at his own problem. So if we're starting with second here, we go 1, 2, 3. So that means we move our decimal place. 1, 2, 3. So now there are 86,400,000. So that means we have 86,400,000 milliseconds each day. And the only thing that we're going to be measuring with milliseconds is if something happens instantaneously. So like the flight of a plane across hundreds of miles, you would have to do it in milliseconds. If you're doing feet, you're doing like feet per millisecond. But we're not going to really have to worry about that. We do start with speed. So I will actually go ahead and, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I'll go ahead and do one of these problems for you, because I know it's going to freak you out to see that you're doing this. So remember, if we look at this, we can actually add one more base unit to this. So calorie is a base unit. So we can actually show calorie as a base unit for energy. Which is CAL, and that is energy consumption. You will not deal with too much energy consumption in this class, but for the basics of this question, we will go ahead and do that. So what we have to do is we have to figure out how this works. So we have kilocalories and we have calories. So we know that there are 7.4 kilocalories per minute. So we know there are 60 seconds in a minute. So we add, so this is 60 seconds in a minute. And we have kilocalories. So that means we would move the decimal place to the right 3. So that means you would have 740 calories per minute, but we have to divide that by 60. So you see what I'm doing here? So if we go through this, so let's set it up on down here so it's easier to read. So now we have 0.74 kilocalories per minute. If we want to find out how many calories per minute we have to move this to the decimal place 3. because if we go from kilocalories, we go 1, 2, 3 to get back to calories. So we move our decimal place over 3. And so now that will equal 740 calories per minute being burned in this particular case. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to find calories per second. So if there are 60 seconds in a minute, we now have to divide this by 60. So 740 divided by 60 equals, go to the trusty calculator because I know that's what you guys like to do. And your answer is 12.3, repeating if you want to do that. Or since we are doing the way that we're supposed to do it, you will have, by rounding anyways, you have this many calories per second, or however you want to do it. So your answer to number 12 is 12.3 calories per second. If you have trouble with anything else, because for instance you're going to have to do a little bit of more conversions with these and these, because we're having to do meters and miles, feel free to ask. That's what today's practice is. Your study guide is posted on Google Classroom. You will be able to do that. I will have the answers for you at the end of the day. They are not hard. Most of them are in your notes or what you have to do today with this practice. All right, good luck.